Hello guys, welcome to this tutorial. This is Engineer Mbole, and today I want to apologize for the long delay and for not meeting up with the classes. It has been a lot of work, and today we will be beginning with Office applications. As you already know, each time you hear of Office, we are talking about Microsoft Office. And we are talking about Bill Gates, who is like the owner of the Microsoft company. So for this training, we will look at the Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, and the Microsoft PowerPoint. Depending on the time available, we might dive a little bit into Publisher. We could look a little bit of Outlook, Express, and all of those. So let's begin. Now the first thing is that once you have a machine and Office is installed, sorry about my desktop, I didn't do assignment 1 and 2, and that's why my desktop is so full. So the first thing is we have to learn how to load Microsoft Word. Loading Microsoft Word, if you are using Windows 10, if you're using Windows 7, depending on your version of Windows, you can click on Start and just type Word. When you type Word, the icon will come up here and you can just click on it. It will load Microsoft Word. A second way is that you can use the Windows key. This is the Windows key plus R to activate the Run dialog box. Windows key R will bring you to the Run dialog box, and then you type WinWord. That's the short form, and you take OK. It's still going to load Microsoft Word. Another way of loading Microsoft Word is that you could open any program that was created in Word. For instance, if I open any of these files that were created in Microsoft Word, it will automatically load Microsoft Word. Now that Microsoft Word has been loaded, it's time for a cup of coffee. If you just had your cup of coffee, let's load Word and begin. When Word opens, it opens with this landing page, and you have a series of options to begin from. You might want to take a new document, students report. All of these are templates. You might also want to open a file that you've worked with recently, and you might just want to take a new document, and you have series of templates here. So we are going to just take a blank document. Now that Word has opened, up here at the top, all over here, is what you call the ribbon button. This is the ribbon button, and the ribbon button, it has a series of tabs beginning from the file. It has the home, the insert, the draw, design, layout, reference, mailing, review, view, help, and you might not have this Quillbot and the Grammarly because they are not usually found in every Word window. Now let's look at the ribbon button and see a couple of things. When you have the ribbon button, you have the text area, which is the area where you type. This is the area where you type, is the text area. And then you have the rulers. You have the vertical and the horizontal rulers. And then up here at the top right corner, you have the window controls. See here, you have the window controls at this top right corner. You have the minimize button. You have the maximize button as well, and you will also have the close button and the restore, which only appears when a window has been maximized. And then here, this is the collapse button. When you press on the collapse button, it's likely to find this error. People come to me all the time, say I don't seem to find my Microsoft Word because it has collapsed. So that is the Word window And we also have the quick access toolbar here. The quick access toolbar usually has some frequent toolbars that you might have used. Like you see, there is the save, there is the restore, and there is the undo, and then you have the repeat clear, and a series of them that maybe I have frequently used. You will see how to customize your ribbon button. You can by just going through some of these menus, and then you have the ribbon display options, where you can auto hide ribbon button, you can show tabs, and commands. Remember, when you collapse here, you will need to come here and you select one. You can also come and show tabs only, as well as you can take auto hide. It automatically hides. I don't like that option, so I'm gonna show all of these ones here. So the rulers help you to increase the text area when you drag up and down the text area. So get ready with your cup of coffee while we navigate into the word window and we see how we can do a couple of. All right, the next thing we are going to look at, when your text is open, you have a lot. Look at the bottom ruler. So let us take a look at a few of these icons on the home button. Now, the first thing that you have here is that when you right click anywhere on the ribbon button, you can take customize ribbon. You see, when you take the customize option, it gives you an option to add or remove items from your ribbon button. You see that here you have the clipboard. You can see home here. This is the home up here. There is the insert here, which is the insert here. So if I decide to uncheck the insert and the home and I take the OK button, you realize that when I come to my ribbon button, there won't be any insert here. These are likely errors to occur, so it's good to know. But what am I supposed to do? Right click anywhere in the ribbon, take customize, and then I can be sure to enable insert and check. Also, it gives you an option to create a new tab. This is the ribbon button. Let me check the insert and the home so that they all come back. You can also collapse and remove a particular item or add a particular item into your ribbon button. I don't want to go into all of this now because it's going to take us a lot of time, but I want to show you how to add a new tab. Now let's get a cup of coffee, and when we come back at coffee, it's also possible to create a new tab. Can you see the option for a new tab here? Let me take a new tab here, and I want to call the tab, let's rename it, and we can put any symbol here. No, this is a new tab. We want to give it a name. No, Fin 2022. Let's take OK. Let's see what happens. Where did it go? I was supposed to be here, the home, Grammarly, and all of that. It's a new group anyway. Let's go look at it once again. I'm gonna take that new tab. I see what happened. So under the new tab, we decided to add something, Fin 2020, where you can drag copy, put it there. You can drag draw table. You can actually add icons to that particular tab. Now let's rename the tab itself. You click on the tab, you take rename. Let's rename it to class 2022, and then let's take OK. You see that now you have the home, you have the class 2022. So this is about customizing your word to be in a way you like it. So let's right click and go back to custom ribbon, and you can decide to move this tab up or down. For now, this is not important, so I will right click on the tab and take remove. And then there are a series of other things that you can do with Word here. There is a general display where you can customize which name should appear. Like you see here, all documents will be created with the name Engineer Mbole or TRM initials, and you see the display. You can see that my display is a little bit different. You can all specify all of these characters. Most of the times, let me open a document. Let me take this document. It's possible that when you go to customize ribbon button, under display, you might want to show tabs, show spaces, paragraph marks. All of these things you can add them, and when you take OK, you see that each time you give a space, you are saying, you see, when I type all of this, you see that there are paragraph marks. I'm going to increase this for you, and then you see that when I press the enter key, it gives a paragraph, just like that. We do not need all of that for now. You will decide the way you want to customize your Word. So I'll go back to the custom ribbon button. I'll go to display and I will just uncheck all of these three so that my Word, there is proofreading, there is the save, the language, accessibility, advanced, the customized ribbon which we are working on, the quick access toolbar, add-ins and trust center. All of these you can go through. This course is too short and we will not be able to go through all of that. So for now, we've looked at the ribbon button. Now that we have some text in our material and we are ready to begin formatting, let's get a cup of coffee and we'll begin after. Now that you got a cup of coffee, this one looks like it's coffee from Do. Tastes really good. I don't know how many of you from over there. The coffee my board door. Now let's begin with the home tab. When you are on the home tab, now that you've had coffee, let's begin with the home button. Now there is a background view as well. When you click on the file menu, this is the background view where you can take a new document. You can open a document. You have a list of recent documents that you worked on. You can open them from OneDrive. We will talk about OneDrive in another tutorial. You can add a new place. You can browse, and all of these options, you'll see them. There is also info, which gives you information about the document. When you create a document, you can decide to protect, encrypt, restrict editing. Now, if you allow always open read only, it means that documents will be read but they cannot be edited. You can encrypt with a password so that when you send a document to somebody, they are not able to open. All of these features are available. There is a save, and there is the save as well. Each time you take save, it just updates the saving. The save as always take you to the dialog box. There's print, share, export, and then you have the account. The account shows you the version of Office you're using. This product is activated and is Microsoft Office Professional 2019. You can change for updates. If you are using Office 365, you also want to switch accounts, sign out. The account you created the Office account, you can use it to sign in here. And different kind of themes here. There's the Office background, you have cloud, there's Goody, there's Secute. You can always navigate within all of these. And Office theme settings, there's the dark gray, which is what I'm using here now. And feedback, you want to give Microsoft feedback, and you want to go to options, it will still take you back to where you had to customize the ribbon button as well. So for now, I will show you one specific thing, which is to export documents. When you want to send your documents, maybe you don't want them edited, so you can create PDF or XPS documents here. You can change the file type as well. So now, take a cup of coffee and let's begin. You go now to the Home tab. The Home tab, when you select text, it will give you the option to cut. Now, what I'm gonna do is that I will use just a small portion of this text so that we work with it. Let me take undo. Let's work with this portion of the text only. Well, let's use all the text. Never mind. We'll always get back. When I select this text, for example, to select text, I'll click, drag down. From the home button, I can copy, I can cut. If it was a mistake, I can undo. It brings it back. I can also copy. When you cut in it, the source is also removed. But when you copy, you just make a duplicate, and then you have the option of pasting now. What does the format painter do? If I select climate change, I can come here and decide on which heading to use. You know, let me just say I'm using this option, normal heading, and I take 1.1. I can decide and use 1.1. Now, chapter 2. Let me say there is chapter 3. Now, I can format these headings to be the same. I take 1.1, see it goes to 1.2. I take this one, it goes to what? 1.3. That's how you format them. And I could go to section A, and I could select section A, and I give some other formatting here. You give any form of formatting here. Any other area, select section A, and I will select and I will give the same formatting. So it's just like that, nothing in particular. So you can also select this text, and you want to increase the size. So you click on the increase font size here, or you click on the reduce font size. Now, if you want to maintain formatting, you select this text, you click on Format Painter, and any other text you select will have that same formatting. You see, it has this very formatting. That's what the Format Painter does. So I will take the undo button so that it brings us back here. You can select the text as well. Anything you want to do with text, you have to begin by selecting it. You can select the text, and you can change the font. The font is the writing style. You can decide to change it to copper black. You can change it to Comic Sans. You can change it to Old English empty. Let's take, a lot of you like a lot of decorative. Let's do K-Library Light here, and then you can give it a size of 18, 16, or whatever you like. It all depends on you. You select the title, you give it this border, chapters 1, climate change, and that's how you can take your formatting all through. Now, the next thing we want to look at is bolding text. When you select this text, you can click on bold, you can italize, or you can underline it. There are different kinds of underlining styles. If I select the entire text, I can take dotted underlined. I can take any kind of underlining styles, and it will underline the text like that for me. If I wanted to see clearly, you have it that way. And then there is the superscript. When superscript works with stuff like copyright, Alt Shift R to insert that R. I'm gonna show you the keyboard so that you see that. To add the copyright sign, to add the copyrights, who's that? Here is Control Alt and R. So When that has been added, you select and you take Superscript. It's going to raise that. And you can take Subscript. Now you want to raise this text, you select just that character, you take Superscript, it raises it up. If you take Subscript, it brings it down. And then you have different kinds of sentence casing. Now look at what happens here. If I select this text and I come to sentence case, it means that, which is the default, it means that each paragraph, each sentence will begin with a capital letter. You look at this, after the full stop, it begins with a capital letter. If I take lowercase, it means that all the material will be in lowercase, no capital letters. And then if I take uppercase, see that everything is in capital letters. If I take capitalize each word, you see that each word will be capitalized. And then also, if I take toggle case, you'll see that the first character is sentence case, but the rest of the material is not. And now there is also, we will go back to sentence case because that is the default. You have seen Subscript, Superscript already. So now let's take back this text. If you do not know how to get back, just go to any text that is normal, select it, take format painter, and then you select all of this. It will return the text to normal. And then let's give it Comic Sans, and let's put it at 16. So this makes a lot of sense. You can bold, italize, and underline for all I would. So, but let's not go through all of those. What else have we not looked at? Now look here. This is the highlight. This is the highlight button. Before we get to the highlight button, it will be important for you to take a cup of coffee, as this is a very challenging exercise. Every time is so. Now there is also alignment here. When you select the text, you take left alignment, you see that the text is aligned to the left but not to the right. You take center alignment, you see the text is not aligned on the both sides, but rather it's aligned on the center. So if I type now that I know the truth that you proclaim, how do you call it, proclaim, I will keep trusting you to fill me up so that no one else will. I'm gonna delete all of this. Something else will do. I will not give up until you have blessed me more than anyone else. Blah blah blah. So this is how central alignment can be used as well. So one of the advantages that Microsoft Word has over other word processing softwares is that you have what you call the text wrap. You see that when I got to the end, it automatically brought the text down. That's what you call text wrap. There is also spell it. You see that words that are not properly spelled are highlighted in red. You can right click and you take, while grammatic errors will be in green. So that is the advantage of Microsoft Word. So you see that I could select this text, left align, it will look like this, center align, right align. I can take justify. Justify means that the text will be equal on the two sides. If I say the lives of men who lived 100 of years ago are a lesson to those who come after them, and so do the tales of the Arabian night that some men he used to ask a lot of questions about why people move from one place, blah 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 blah. Now you realize that justify would align the text to the right and also to the left. The next thing we are going to look about is the paragraph and the line spacing. You see that for line spacing, when you take 0 line spacing, it means there will be no line in between these words. If I take 1.15, 1.5, 2.5, if I take 3, it means that after each line there will be 3 lines before the line spacing. So I will just undo all of this. I will just undo and I will allow justify. That's what paragraph does. There's also indentation, where you take indent the first character. You see, it moves the text. You can further indent or you can bring it back. You already know about this paragraph marks. These other ones apply mostly to shading, where you want to shade the area. You see, if I selected a particular text and I go to shading, I could give it a color, and then I could give this other text the same color as well, or the same shading, or I could select and I give something else. That is what shading does. Now this is the borders. I could select all of this text and give it a border, something like this line border, where the entire text is in a rectangular box. I will undo all of this because we don't need them. Control Z is undo. You can also decide to clear all formatting. This is clear all formatting. The keyboard shortcut is Control Spacebar. Let me load our keyboard. Anyway, never mind. It's Control Spacebar, or you use the clear all formatting button. If you are there, let's take a cup of coffee, and then we will look at bulletin and numbering. This is now chapter 1. Teaching, and I want this to be in bullets. I just add a bullet here. Learning, playing, just like that. If I select all of these and I select this kind of numbering, it will change to numbers. If I go to bullet, it will change to bullet. This is bullets, means that they are signs. This is numbers. I'm gonna take a cup of coffee. This is numbers, and here you have multi-level list, or nested, a kind of nested numbering. So this is what happens if I select this one and I take 1 and A. It means that after 1, if I press enter and I take the tab key, it becomes A. Level 1, enter, level 2, and then if I go tap again, 2A, 2B, it can also be 2A1. I press enter, I use the shift and the tab key, it brings me back here to 2C, shift and the tab again, it brings me to level 3, shift, level 3, shift and the tab again, it brings me to counting. Just like that. This is what nested numbering does. I can do the same for counting. It can be counting level 1 as well, level 2, level 3. So each time I press the enter key and I press tab, it automatically moves to the next one, and I can go here and type 1A, 1B. If I decide to go back to under A1, I can say fishing, 1A fishing, or whatever you want to, 1A dancing, whatever you want to put here, correct fishing. So this is what this does. You have the bulletin. Now if I decide to select and take the bullets, it will be the same. It still be bullets, but now I'm taking numbering, so it's just like that. So even with the bullets, you can choose the kind of bullet you want. Like this one, it will be different. You drop down here and you choose this one. You can choose any kind of bullet you want, and all of those will be there. Same with the numbering. You can choose 1, 2, 3. You can take ABC. You can take this one. You can also define a kind of bullet by yourself. Change the list. You define bullet. When you click on define bullet, you can select a symbol, and any symbol you select, you use as bullet. You can use something like this. You would have seen people use symbols like this for bullets. So whatever. So I believe that we have done almost everything on this menu, and the last thing we are going to look at here, forget about Grammarly because you will not find it in a normal word. There is find. If you need to look for a word, let's assume that this material was, I've just copied and pasted, Ctrl+C to copy, Ctrl+V to paste. Let's assume that you had this much material and you needed to search a particular word called teaching. What you do is that you click find here, and this other navigation bar appears. You type teaching. You see it highlights those words you are looking for. If you were searching for chapter 1, you can just type 1 and will highlight all the ones. Another way of doing that is that you can use Ctrl+F. Where we can use Ctrl+F and it will take you to the find dialog box. You can use Ctrl+G as well. It will still take you Ctrl+G. It will take you now to the find dialog box. In the find dialog box, you can find a particular word and replace. Let's replace teaching with teacher. We look for teaching and we replace. This is the word you're finding and this is the word you're replacing. You replace it with teacher. Look at this place. Take note. You can replace one at a time or you can replace all. So let's replace all. You see, it has replaced teacher. It has replaced teacher, teaching with teacher. Let's use the keyboard shortcut again. I'm gonna go to the keyboard because I want you to see the keyboard shortcut is Ctrl+G. Now you click here, Ctrl+G. It brings down this dialog box. Let me minimize this, and then we go to find. Now let's replace all the ones. Let's replace all the ones with the number 1. We want to replace ones with 1, and then we say replace all. It says all done. We replace 9 ones, and you see that now chapter 1 is like this. So that is one way you can do all of that. There are various forms of select here as well. When you drop down this arrow, there is select all, which you can select here. There is also object select. If you're dealing with a lot of objects, it becomes at times challenging to select them within text. And there is select all also. So let's assume that you wanted to insert a shape like this other one. It's already complaining. you see that at times it becomes difficult to select this text. So that is when you can use the select objects, and then you can click here. You can move the text anywhere you want, and you can format the text. We are getting to that, so let me not drive you too fast here now. And then you have the select all text similar formatting, which is what you have been using, which is the default. So finally, under the home tab, you can look at these small expand buttons. It takes you to different clipboards. Anytime you look at each tab, like for the font, if you go down here, you see that it takes you directly to the font dialog box, where you have a lot of things you can do at once. You can select a particular font size, the font style, whether it should be italic, it should be bold, or bold, italic. You have the font size here. You have the color as well, and the kind of underlining styles. All of these are applicable here, and you can even, now when you go to, let's assume that this was chapter 1 and you selected the text, you drop this arrow, you want to format that one with any font of your side, of your style. You can choose any of these. This is the sample. This is the preview down here. Now this is the preview of the text, anyone you choose. Let's take this one, let's make it bold, and let's give it the size 18, and let's give it a color red. And then there is the underline color, the underline style as well. You can underline it any way you like, and you can give it an underlining color different. You can do strike through, which means I will strike the text like this. You can do double strike through if that's what you wanted. All caps, the small caps, hidden if you want to hide the text, superscript, subscript, any of these you can do to the text. And when you are done, you can also add a few text effects if it will be readable text. What are we trying to do here? Just color. In older versions of Word, you have something like matching ants and all of those solid colors that will fill the text. You had animations as well. You could make your text glow. You have reflections, whatever you want to do to the text. And when you're done, you see the text will look at something like that. So that is the home tab. The home tab is probably one of the tabs you will be using very often in Microsoft Word. And every time is coffee time. If you have some friends from Do, now will be a time to take a cup of coffee. So before we continue, the coffee ma Boko J. Okay, now we are going to see how to save our document. To save a document, you can use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl+S. Ctrl+S, and it will take you to the save dialog box. In the save dialog box, this is the save location. You have to decide where to save. If you drop down here, you can choose documents. If you do not know where to save, you can take more options, and then you can also browse over here, and then it will take you to your computer where you know exactly where you're saving. You can save in my documents. You can save on your desktop, downloads, wherever you want to save. You can also use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl+S, which is what we have used. You can click on the File tab and you select Save. It will bring you to the same place. You can click on the File tab, take Save As. It will do the same thing. And let's save this document on the desktop, on my document. So let's go to File, and then we take Save. We are going to browse here, and then we'll take it as 111. No, it's already 55. It's already there. 2 4 twos. We are saving under my documents 4 twos, and then we take save. We are going to close everything now. Now that we have saved our work and we have closed everything, it's time to find out if the work was saved. So let's load Microsoft Word again. It might take a little while to load. And then you see that the document is already here because it is one of our documents that was saved. If you do not see it here, go to open and you can browse, and then you go to my documents and you see 222. So you are able to open the same document that we have been working with. Now the next thing we are going to look at here is the insert tab. Let's have a cup of coffee. And we can come back to this when we are done with